Mazda CEO introduces all new small trucks that are the best on the market right now. The current generation Mazda BT-50 has been on sale locally for 3 years now. That's long enough to see the dual-cab UT segment move on. Is this the ultimate BT-50? Let's find it out. Based on the Isuzu D-Max, the BT-50 is pitched as slightly more plush and lifestyle-oriented, hopping into the Mazda BT-50 SP. With the optional SP Pro package, is a little more difficult than the regular model, mostly due to the 40mm lift its nitrocharger suspension upgrade kit brings. There are, thankfully, side steps and grab handles to make getting in and out a bit easier. Here is the BT-50 ESP, which is second from the top of the range. You can add the recently introduced SP Pro package. This $7,668 optional package adds special 18-inch alloy wheels, nitrocharger suspension with a 4TIM lift, Light Force LED, light bar, and ESP Pro decals. Speaking of the driver's seat, the BT-50 SP comes with really cool-looking seats that are finished in black and brown synthetic leather. They look a lot more flash than the typical all-black seats in a large number of its rivals. The driver's seat has 8 ways of electric adjustability, as well as adjustable lumbar support. My favorite part of the driver's seat was its decent level of thigh support. Ahead of the driver is a steering wheel that's wrapped in buttery soft leather. It's a lot smoother than quite a number of its competitors. All the buttons on the steering wheel have a tactile click, adding to the feeling of quality. Behind the steering wheel are a set of traditional analog dials and a small 4.2-inch digital instrument cluster, which tells you all you need to know. You can get lost quite easily in the trip meter settings, as it feels like there's an option for everything. It's nice to have configurability, but surely there's only so much you can do with a 4.2-inch screen. The 9.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system is standard on almost all BT-50 variants, and also features on the related Isuzu D-Max and MUX. The screen itself is good to look at with its matte finish, but it picks up fingerprints and reflections like nothing else. The native user interface is also really dark for the most part, which amplifies these imperfections. It doesn't appear to have very much processing power, which means it takes a while to turn on upon startup, and also when loading new pages. One of the most frustrating waits is for smartphone mirroring to start up. The BT-50 ESP comes with wireless and wired Apple CarPlay. Android Auto, on the other hand, is only available in wired form. There's no wireless phone charger, which means you need to be careful that you don't run out of battery. There is a generous space to store your phone ahead of the gear selector, though it's like the seats. The dashboard has a brown and black two-tone finish. It's largely covered in a soft, padded, leather-looking material. It's quite plush, although you don't have to look far to find harder-wearing plastics. On the center console, there's a fair bit of piano black, which gets scratched really easily and can get smudgy gross after just a week. The cup holders in the center console are 2 different shapes, and so deep a coffee cup gets swallowed completely. There are no teeth in them to hold bottles securely. Moving to the second row, it's not perfect for adults on long trips, but kids will be fine. At a leggy 182 cm, your knees can rest firmly against the seat in front, and you have just enough headroom. All the main touch points in the second row are still soft and spongy, though it's easier to find harder plastics. Second row amenities include a handy hook on the backrest of the front passenger seat, air vents, and a USB port. There are a number of grab handles to assist in getting in and out. The tub on the BT-50 SP measures 1570 on man, long, 1530 wide, and 419 tall. Between the arches is 1120 mm. There's a spray and ute liner, a manual tonneau cover, and a gloss black sailplane sports bar as standard. If you didn't know the tailgate wasn't included in the central locking and you left something of value in the tub, it could get stolen very easily. As it turns out, this is quite common in the dual cab segment. Starting up the BT-50 SP, you're greeted with a diesel engine clatter that's instantly recognizable and teleports me back to being on the farm. When the ute is completely unladen, the engine feels quite strong. From 0 to 30 kilometers per hour, it's pretty quick, and you'll be able to keep up with the majority of city traffic from the lights. This sense of speed doesn't last long, though, as from 30 kilometers per hour and above, the engine has to work a lot harder to pick up momentum. If you really push it, the engine gets quite loud and revs hard, which can be grating but is common with a number of four-cylinder turbo diesel utes. There's no need to push the engine, as peak torque comes on tap from 1600 RPM. The steering in the BT-50 is light in low-speed scenarios and makes you feel like you're driving something a lot smaller than it is. Despite this, you still have to twirl the steering wheel a fair bit to get the UT to change directions. There are front and rear parking sensors, as well as a reversing camera, which has adequate picture quality. Around town, the BT-50 SP's ute roots shine through. It gets a bit of a rock happening when shifting from reverse to drive or when going over sharp bumps. The nitrocharger suspension kit brings a 40 mm suspension lift, 12 mm track increase. Once you get out on the highway or freeway, the BT-50 SP with the ESP Pro package comes into its element. The transmission clicks into top gear and the engine finds a nice groove at around 1500 RPM. Despite being able to cruise along at 100 to 110 kilometers per hour on the freeway, it doesn't really feel like the ute has anything more to give. This means you'll really need to plan your overtakes so you don't get caught out. On the safety front, the BT-50's adaptive cruise control system mostly works as intended. It's very easy to activate via the steering wheel controls and can be clearly seen on the small digital instrument cluster. You can also switch all of the lane keeping and lane centering functions off very easily with buttons on the steering wheel. The LED headlights in this vehicle are great. Try the Light Force LED, light bar cleverly installed behind the grille. The only thing that lets this ute down in the lighting department is that the front fog lights are halogen. This looks really strange when compared to all the other LED units. So is the Mazda BT-50 safe? So the Mazda BT-50 wears a 5-star NCAP safety rating with a date stamp based on tests conducted on the related Isuzu D-Max. This rating applies to all variants bar the BT-50 Thunder. The utes were reassessed despite having already received 5-star ratings, as the D-Max and BT-50 received a design change to the driver's knee airbag and instrument panel. The BT-50 received scores of 86% for adult occupant protection, 89% for child occupant protection, 67% for vulnerable road user protection, and 84% for safety assistance. It's worth noting the BT-50's unique front end, compared to its Isuzu twin, garnered a slightly weaker pedestrian protection score. The Mazda BT-50 is covered by a 5-year, unlimited kilometer warranty with roadside assistance for the same period. Logbook servicing is required every 12 months or 15,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. The first 5 services with the BT-50 SPI, capped at $449, $416, $713, $531, and $334, respectively. This equals $2,443 over 5 years. Suppose you purchase the SP Pro accessory pack as part of the new BT-50 SP and have it installed prior to delivery. In that case, it's covered by the same 5-year, unlimited kilometer warranty as the UT itself. If it's fitted after delivery, it's covered by a 2-year warranty. In almost top spec BT-50 SP trim on test here. The UT looks quite SUV-like inside and out, has some soft interior touches, and can be used as a work ute or as a lifestyle vehicle. Despite this, the UTA is still rather expensive for what it offers. This is before you add the near $8,000 SP Pro pack fitted to this vehicle, which brings the total asking price to over $76,000 before on roads. Sure, the price tag for the SP Pro pack is the fitted price. It is covered with the full 5-year unlimited kilometer warranty if included as part of the UT purchase. Still, it only includes an upgraded suspension kit, LED light bar, special 18-inch alloy wheels, and decals. Also, if you don't want a certain part of the SP Pro pack, you'd have to purchase each accessory separately. So that's it. What do you think about the all-new 2024 Mazda BT-50 SP? Comment your thoughts. Do share the video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.